To you, Taurus, out here. So you have the Magician, and then you have the Nine of Swords, and then you, Taurus, also have the High Priestess for you. So what's going on here for you, Taurus, is that this is a situation for you. Sorry about that. This is a situation for you, Taurus, where what you've got going on is the Magician, the Nine of Swords, and the High Priestess. The High Priestess is Taurus and Virgo. So you did show up in your own reading. Virgo is in here heavy too. Could be an interaction between or connection that you have between Virgo. Doesn't necessarily have to be that. A lot of you, Taurus, are getting to the bag, but you're laying really low. You don't want people to know that you have it. You are just being quiet about it, staying on the hush hush about it, not really trying to, you Taurus are not really trying to be known for anything in particular per se, and be a celebrity. A lot of you actually want to lay low right now. How do I know that? These three cards pretty much let me know. The Magician, making all your dreams come true. The Nine of Swords, working hard for it, but being rewarded for your work. High Priestess, laying low. High Priestess is about things that are hidden, secret admirers, but that's the operative word, secret, right? Being hidden, being laying on the low, being, again, hidden, not being the obvious, being inconspicuous, right? You, Taurus, don't, and then not only that too, but Taurus is the zodiac sign that rules over silence. It's a fact. Look it up. And so the situation with that is that for you, Taurus, once again, like, you don't want to be seen as anyone in particular. You don't want to be exalted. You kind of want to be left alone because, once again, your life is doing great. But what I'm seeing here about you, Taurus, is that a lot of you, Taurus, have gained enough experience enough to know, yeah, with all of that, you being good and great and everything and doing great, that tends to attract a lot of eyeballs that you don't want around you and on you, because now you got all these people coming, talking to you, trying with their hand out, trying to get something from you, and that's not something that you, Taurus, want. Taurus still rules over the accumulation of wealth now. All right, so the King of Swords and the King of Wands right here for you, Taurus, represents this being a situation for you where, so you're not, another thing too with you, Taurus, I don't really see you, Taurus, really being compatible with anybody romantically. I personally see that you, Taurus, will pretty much let people have it because they're getting on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? They're getting on your nerves. You, Taurus, don't want to have to deal with stupid people who don't want to use their common sense and overall are clumsy. I've talked about this before, that a lot of the disrespect and a lot of the disrespect and people not even being aware of themselves, or where they are on the totem pole is really comes from a lack of understanding, experience, but also even more so a lack of consideration. A lot of people don't take into account other people, right? And so too much selfishness. They're leaning too far into the realm of selfishness. And what ends up happening is that they end up basically crossing boundaries with other people and crossing lines with other people. And so this is where you get the arguments. This is where you get the disagreements from. And so that's what you got going on. A lot of you, Taurus, again, you don't want to be around people who will come to you with their hand out, asking for something. You're not going to give it to them, right? You will give at your own discretion, meaning whenever it is that you want to. A person can't try to make you do anything, right? That's not good. you Taurus are not going to give them, because once again, it has to be sincere. You have to actually want to give it to them. However, when you will give it to them, that's your discretion, right? See, that's another thing about Taurus. See, when it comes to Taurus and their dollars, Taurus is not a zodiac sign that splurges on a lot of people. It isn't. Taurus is not a zodiac sign that splurges. Remember, Taurus is a zodiac sign that accumulates wealth. And if Taurus knows what Taurus are doing, keeps the wealth and figures out ways to still spend, to be able to get what they want. And there are ways to go about doing that, actually, right? Legally, of course, legally. And so the point that I'm trying to make here with that is, for you Taurus, the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact that what you Taurus got going on is you have, once again, you don't even think that you're even compatible with anybody right now. Yeah, you ruled by Venus and all of that, but I honestly think that you Taurus are like bulls right now that everybody essentially needs to really get up on out of the way. What is going on? Everybody really needs to get up on out of the way, because if you don't like them because you know them prior, or they're coming from a place of sincerity where you don't really detect disrespect, you're not going to take, I just don't think that you Taurus are really going to take people seriously. I honestly see you Taurus want to be honestly left alone. Y'all don't have, a lot of you probably don't even have a significant other, and you probably don't care. And even if you Taurus do have a significant other, y'all are good. Y'all are chilling. Y'all don't want to go outside. Y'all the impression that I'm getting about you Taurus is y'all want to go to work, come home. Y'all don't need to be outside hanging out, chilling. Y'all don't want to even want to do that. Not because I'm saying it, but because y'all legitimately, y'all are not in the mood. Y'all don't want to do that. And so the situation with that is the Page of Cups and the Three of Swords represents how some of you Taurus may even have somebody right now on your case asking for some stuff. And you Taurus, again, you're not feeling it. You don't like it. You're not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? You're not. Because once again, it's up to you. It's your discretion to decide when it is that you Taurus are going to spend, and how and where and on whom. Okay? You are in control of your destiny. And a lot of people have tried to control you to make you kind of like the engine or the driving force to their success. In other words, use you Taurus for your finances, for your beauty, right? They gain from you, they take from you, they don't contribute. They don't put back anything in. They don't even, because see, this is why I keep talking about these 50-50 relationships, right? Once again, everybody gets a chance to be seen. Both people get a chance to be seen, because what's going on here with that is when you get a return, right? When you put time and energy into a person, and the person puts time and energy into you and all of that, you actually feel pretty good, because you know that because this person is showing you signs deliberately that they actually care about you in exchange. And it's not this scenario for you Taurus where they're looking where like the person, it wants all these things and they're like posturing and trying to make things appear to be one thing or another. You're directly benefiting from something. You're directly benefiting from something, right? And a person doesn't necessarily directly benefit from it immediately. And that's a sign, or a big sign, that the person does care about your well-being. And that's refreshing, because you know, like, okay, this person actually is willing to put energy back into into this investment, right? They're putting time and energy back into you. It's not just you're being the battery of the relationship, giving what does a battery do? Give energy, right? Giving all of the energy, and what happens after you drain the battery dry? You throw it away, right? So that's not you. And so the situation with you is that for you, Taurus, once again, you're just honestly speaking, you're on point. A lot of you are just aware of how people can use you as batteries, as the power source, the driving factor for whatever it is, the engine for whatever it is that they're trying to do. And then what happens when it is that they get what they want? They usually just throw you away. And so the thing is that the Five of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Cups, I've had a wild day. Please excuse me. These three cards right here for you, Taurus, represents how y'all are in a position where the Five of Cups represents. So even though this doesn't speak to exactly everything that you, Taurus, would have, because you would like to be in a relationship. That's not the thing. You would like to be in one. It's just that you, Taurus, just understand, just we don't even have to get super spiritual. We could just use logic. We could use basic logic. It doesn't even make even logical sense for you, Taurus, to be in a relationship, a lot of y'all. Because what would be the point for you to get to know somebody, for them to now start to downplay your value while use your value, and then after they figure that they've had enough because now they want to start playing games, they throw you away at you, Taurus's expense. I just, again, you Taurus are just too intelligent for that. You Taurus, I don't see that playing itself out. I just think I am observing spiritually, I am observing you Taurus are just like, nah. These are just not good options. You know what I'm saying? To get with someone right now is strategically and statistically for you, Taurus, just not good options. I think a lot of you are like really doing your thing and being patient for the single ones of you, doing your thing and enjoying the time that you have to do what you want to do because you have the finances. You're getting more money and you have to do less work. So you have more time to do what you want. And not only that too, but also it's the fact that, maybe you Taurus are rich. Taurus is the accumulation of wealth. It rules over the second house, the accumulation of wealth. The fourth house is how the accumulation of wealth is passed on to the family, how it's shared, right? That's the fourth house. The eighth house represents things like another extension of the fourth house. So it's right, but it's opposite the second house, which is ruled by Taurus, because the eighth house is Scorpio. The eighth house represents also an extension of like how the funds, the accumulated funds, or the finances or the wealth is distributed. This is where it is that you get life insurance policies and stuff like that from, because Scorpios represents what? Right? Passing on, right? Accumulation of wealth. You get this rush of wealth, or this overflow of wealth when you have a family member or someone that wants to leave you their wealth in their will, right? All of these, everything is everything. Everything is connected, is what Bobby Hemmett would say. Shout outs to Bobby Hemmett, by the way. But real talk though, each and every single one of the houses are connected, and they are laid out like that for a particular reason. But so the point that I'm trying to make here is that the Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups is about how, once again, like, you don't want to deal with an individual that is not going to work with you. They're going to work against you, right? You have the time, you have the finances to do what you want. You have the downtime. That's what I really mean, the downtime. The time that you have is not being preoccupied with nonsense. You actually get to do more of what you want, right? You have time to do more of what you want, because you're seeing the point that I'm trying to make here. It's not you, it's other people. Because how come you chilling by yourself, things seem to be going well, but when you incorporate other people into the mix, right, it just seems like it's this downslide. Like, what's up with that, right? You would think that if you Taurus would be left up to your own devices, that you would be the one that's on the slippery slope, right? But you're not. This is how it is that you know that you're not the situation. You're not the one where that, so many people make it think, so many people try to desperately make it seem like you, Taurus, are the one that's the ones that should be stayed away from. Is if you could be by yourself, and the times that when you by yourself, you just chilling, and you not really getting into beefs with people, and things are actually pretty good. This is how you know. That's one of the ways on how it is that you know, because you'll see people who will get themselves in relationships, and then what happened? They cause a commotion in their relationships, and then what happened when they get on the outside of the relationship? They either run into a new relationship because they can't fathom the thought of them being single, or as they are single, they are steadily spiraling. They're left up to their own devices now. So now they out here looking wild. They out here looking like where the wild things are. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. So let's clarify the Two of Cups and get out of here. And so you have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Cups, and then you, Taurus, also have the Five of Cups, right? So to clarify the Two of Cups. So once again, like, I just think that, a person who's going to come to you, there's an emphasis on, it has to be reciprocity. Two of Cups, right? The Queen of Cups, not just doing everything for free, not just doing everything for free under the disguise of the two of you will be in a relationship. You have to actually directly benefit from it, and it has to be understood that you will benefit from it. And so a lot of you, Taurus, are just on, again, y'all are just doing y'all thing. Y'all are really on y'all P's and Q's, because a lot of you, Taurus, are beginning, I ain't gonna say beginning, but a lot of you, Taurus, are really understanding what a relationship is. You're not supposed to be connected to a person, and then all it is that you switch what most people would say destiny swapping, but you switch power, you switch value, you switch spiritual power, right? All the good things that naturally come to you, Taurus, is switched with them because you steadily giving it to them. And what are they doing? Arguing with you, bickering with you, playing games. Every time you, Taurus, are all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Your heart is constantly all over the place. Why? Because your emotions you're on an emotional roller coaster. The person is all over the place. They're not doing anything but bringing dysfunction to you and all types of gobbledygook and all of this. You, Taurus, are really beginning to understand, if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to benefit. You have to actually benefit. And I just because I'm trying to be humble with it, but I just see that a lot of you, Taurus, are beginning to understand, like, you're going to ask, like, no more of this, no talking, no getting to know the person, no actually discussing anything. And the person isn't explicitly letting you know they want to be in a relationship with you, bringing value to the table, doing anything for you. And you, Taurus, just sitting there and just being okay, and just being okay with it, and being all right, and being cool. And you dig what I'm saying? I think a lot of you, Taurus, are really like, no, if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to benefit. You will benefit the other. Of course, you're going to benefit the other person. But at the same time, you have to benefit. What type of nonsense is that? They're the only ones that benefit? That's hogwash. And so the thing is that the Page of Cups and the Five of Cups right here represents how. And so, again, it took you a long time for you, Taurus, to get here, because you had to learn your way as to why. Relationships don't just manifest just so, and there's no kind of understanding, and they just happen. No, people have to take action to make it happen, because two people can be attracted to one another, and if all they have the attraction, if all they have is the physical attraction, then it will either be a romantic fun situation, and that's it, or or it will, or right, or it just doesn't happen at all because there was no action that was being taken in order to even do anything, even to have a romantic, fun relationship. So that's pretty much it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Um, Hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. I'm actually really proud of you, Taurus. I'm really proud of the fact that, you Taurus are not just sitting there and letting people just kind of just use you for whatever you want. I'm glad that you, Taurus, actually like, no, I got a benefit, right? And it, because it's getting a lot of people to really be caught off guard and to really think like, oh, I'm not just going to be able to come into this person's life and just benefit and then just leave whenever I want, play games with the Taurus. It's like, no, you Taurus have your head on your shoulders. So that's it. Peace. Have a good one.